talking with Cindy Lynne from a all-female Motley Crue Tribute band, Cruella, and you guys are out of San Francisco, is that correct?
That's right, the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay, and so I know for years in the Bay Area there's a big thrash scene, but is there much of a tribute scene up there these days?
There actually is, yeah. I first noticed it about 7 or 8 years ago, and it just seems to be growing and growing in our area. So we're lucky to be in an area where we can thrive.
And now, you know, a lot of times, you know, I think a lot of these tribute bands, you know, they gotta have a little niche, and I think one thing you definitely guys got going for yourself, the fact that you're an all female tribute, is that something that you found has been working for you?
Yeah, people seem to really enjoy it. Everybody loves Motley Crue, and everybody likes girls, so it's a good combination.
Yeah, girls. Now let me ask you. I imagine before you started, you know, doing the tribute thing, that you must have been in original bands yourself for years.
Some of our members have. I have not, but the other girls have been in various projects.
Okay, so so talk about your band Cruella. How did you guys all get together, and was this a project you formed, or somebody's existing?
Yeah, I started the band, and we first found Wendy Wild, who was our drummer, and then we found Mary Carey, our guitar player, and then Carolyn is our bass player.
Okay, now if you don't mind me asking, how did you first get into the music of Motley Crue, become a fan yourself?
I've just always liked them growing up, and there's tons of Motley Crue tribute bands already, but it's all guys. And
now I know
really a lot of all-female bands. When we got started, there didn't seem to be that many. There seem to be a lot more now. So I think the all-girl thing is sort of taking off too. But I thought all girls and Motley Crue was a good combination.
Yeah. And so, let me ask you now. Do you have a favorite Motley Crue album or song that really, you know, gets you off?
Not really. I like everything. I guess it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes it's fun to hear the newer stuff, or the not as popular one. You know, but most people seem to like the first 3 or 4 albums the best.
Yeah.
We try and focus on that in our set.
Okay, now let me ask you, when you first decided to put Cruella together, what made you, first of all, decide to go the route of a tribute band, you know, rather than forming an original project?
I thought it would be a good product, a good package. You know, I thought it was something people would like. People like to hear their favorite music live, but they don't want to pay hundreds of dollars for a concert ticket usually.
Yeah.
You know, we can play in the smaller venues, and people can still hear Motley Crue music live, only, you know, with our own little twist to it.
Yeah, you know.
Naturally, we're not going to sound, you know, we're you know, the female singing first of all, but it's gone over really well. We've gotten a lot of really positive feedback.
And, you know, if anything, you know, just from looking at photos on your Facebook, I think you guys got, in a way, you got the look down. You know, you got that type of look, and it seems like you have attitude. So, like, what do you remember from your first show? I mean, that must have been a great feeling once that first show was over, and you must have that, you know, feeling of, you know, like accomplishment, like, wow, you know, we pulled it off.
Yeah, it's funny. When I started it, I sort of just wanted to jam. I wanted to meet other girls that wanted to jam some Crue and have a good time, and maybe we'd do a show or two in a dive bar somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. And I thought that would be it, and it just took off, and
now
it surprised me.
Yeah. So that's my next question. Are you kind of surprised at I don't know if it's the right word, success that you've had, in the sense that you know, a lot of these tribute bands I've talked to, you know, I've learned that you know, it's a lot easier to put together a tribute band and get the right players and put on a great show, you know, and get a tribute band going a lot faster than if you were to do the original thing, where it might take 6 or 7 years just for the band to break or get its first hit.
Exactly.
Okay, and now how important was it for you to, like, even though you guys are all female, how important was it for you guys to kind of get that look down? Because, I mean, I'm impressed, and even looking at your pictures, that they got they got a Motley Crue thing going, they got a look, they got the attitude. Was that something that was really important to you?
It was, yeah. We wanted to put together a full show. I mean, anybody can, listen to people play. We wanted the look and the costumes as well as sound good. And to have the whole thing.
And that's to me what separates like a cover band to a tribute band. I mean, first of all, cover bands they do material from various artists, but what I really love about the tribute bands is most of them I have yet to see a bad one, I got to be honest, but most of the ones I've seen, for example, they're really good at looking the part, and they got the sound down. And like you're saying, for somebody who can't afford to go see the real Motley Crue, you guys might be the next best thing. And if you put on a good enough show for your audience, you give them a magical concert experience, and that might be as close as they're ever going to get to seeing Motley Crue. And they got a night to remember since that they heard a band that was almost dead on play those songs that are kind of probably the soundtrack to their life, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, and ours too.
And now let me ask you, what do you think about Motley Crue? Obviously, a couple of weeks ago they announced that they're going to be going on their final tour. What do you think about that as a Motley Crue fan?
Do I think that's really what they're going to do?
Well, I guess like what I heard about it, I'm kind of thinking, well, on one hand I'll be sorry to see them go, but on another hand, I think like what they're saying, it's good to be able to go out and call it a day when they're still on top.
Right. I mean, I think they could have gone a little longer. I'm a little bummed out, but so many bands have done farewell tours before, so I mean, I took it with a little grain of salt. Who knows? They may, I mean, their thing was they were never going to replace members if it wasn't the original four, and they would stop while the original four are still playing. Yeah. So that, I think, leaves the door open for them to return if they wanted to.
Yeah, interestingly enough, when they held their little press conference to announce the farewell, or final tour, whatever they're calling it, they went to all this trouble of signing like some contract in front of the press where if Motley Crue ever plays, goes on tour again, that fans can sue us for breaking our word or whatever. Again, like you said, I kind of think that's maybe just a little press stunt. I'm sure there's some kind of a loophole to get them out of that, but I'd be interested to see if they really never play again. But now, talking about when Motley Crue does play its final show, do you think for a band like you guys that'll be good business in the sense that people won't be able to see the real Motley Crue anymore, so they'll be going to see tribute bands like you guys?
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt us by Motley Crue if they do indeed hang it up and call it a day. It certainly isn't going to hurt our band. It's like we just said, people like to hear that music live, so maybe a few more people will come out, will hear about us, and who knows.
And so, have you guys played much outside of the San Francisco area, or do you stay pretty local?
Let's see, we've Sacramento, Las Vegas. We're slowly starting to spread out a little bit. We're looking to play in other parts of the country and even the world. If an opportunity presents itself, we're all for it.
And so, from the time you first put the band together, I was curious, to now, how long did it take you to get to the point where you felt comfortable in your ability to get up on stage and be able to feel comfortable in your ability to play that material?
I think our confidence increases, I think, with each show. The longer we're together, the tighter we become. March, we will be celebrating our 2-year anniversary, so we've just about every show somebody comes up to us and says, I've seen you 5, 6 times, you just keep getting better and better and better, so we like to hear that, so that's good. So just upwards from here.
Well, congratulations on that, because the fact that you're doing it 2 years into it, that tells me right there that you guys are doing something right. I mean, if if people weren't coming to a show, you wouldn't still be doing. So obviously somebody likes what you're doing, you know. And so so let me ask you, like, what's the hardest thing about putting on a show like what you guys put on? I mean, is it getting dressed up? Is it like, do the stage costumes cost a lot of money, or what's the most expensive part about putting on your show?
The most expensive part?
Yeah.
Probably, well, the costumes, and you know, we would like to have a bit more of a stage show. You know, as we go, you know, we're just going to keep improving as we go here. But yeah, the costumes, and you know, it's a little time consuming getting them on, but people like it. If we just showed up in our jeans and
exactly.
shoes and played, you know, nobody cares.
Exactly.
It's part of its package.
As far as the costumes and the stage outfits, do you guys make those yourselves? Do you go to stores and buy them? How does that work?
We go to stores and buy them.
And now I know you're telling me, like, you have a day job, as do a lot of these people of these tribute bands. So if you don't mind me asking, what do you do for a living during your regular 9-to-5 job?
9-to-5 job. I work in an office. You know, it seems most people I've met in the tribute scene hold the daytime office job, so I'm no different.
Yeah, that's totally cool. And I imagine, you know, doing the normal 9-to-5 thing, when you get a chance to go out there and do these shows, that must be a great way to let off your angst or your stress, if you know what I mean. I imagine working a job all week, and then
it's a great way to let off steam, you know, especially it's the weekend, and we usually have something to look forward to on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah. And so let me ask you, like, have you ever invited any friends from your job or people in your everyday life to come see you perform, and they're like, wow, I had no idea, you know, you're wild up there on stage, you're nothing like that, you know, at work.
Well, we have actually, quite a few people I've worked with have come and checked out the band, and they're really impressed, and yeah, exactly, wow, you know, you're so quiet at work, and look at you guys.
Yeah. And so like, as far as the other girls in the band, were these people you knew from you know, being in the area, or did you find them through like musician ads and stuff?
I found them through word of mouth, just friends of friends, really.
And so, like, you know, when you found these other girls, I was curious, like, did you just, like, when you met each of these girls, did you know that they were V1, or was there something in particular you were looking for? Was just how they play their instruments, or what, you know, what made you decide these were the girls for your band?
How did I know they'd work out?
Well, I mean, did you audition them? Like, did they have a right look? Did you just like the way they played, or, you know, a lot of times?
No, we all just got together. It's like, okay, here's a drummer, here's a bassist, here's a guitar player, here's a singer. Let's get together and, you know, do a couple of songs and see how we sound. And it was just instant magic the moment we started playing. And so, like, wow, we have a thing here.
Wow. And so like, let me ask you, like, you're telling me you're the singer, and you're saying some of these other girls, they were actually in other bands before this, but was this the first time that you ever have done any kind of like professional singing?
I was actually in a Motley Crue Tribute before this as a backup singer.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, this is fun, and it was guys playing. Like, this is fun, but I can do this. I want my own, and I want it to be girls, and I think it'll be even cooler than this.
Yeah,
so I mean, that became the next goal.
I mean, that's a cool thing. That's a cool story right there, and that you know, I gotta say, like, even just like when I first got in contact with you about doing the interview, part of the reason was, okay, number one, you're an all-girl female tribute act, and then number two, I just thought, you know, the pictures looked very impressive on your, you know, site. So you guys definitely are nice eye candy. You got something, I think, to offer the, you know, public. But now, what was that like? You said you started out as a backup singer in the previous band, and so what's it go like from being somebody that's, you know, kind of just in the background to being the front woman of a band, you know, where people are now, you're the main focus, you're the lead singer, people are looking at you?
It's a lot more fun, but it's a lot more responsibility too. I mean, before, you know, it was me and one other girl singing backup, and really we would just show up and just have a good time. And now that it's me, there seems to be a lot more responsibility, but I I enjoy it a lot more too.
And so much, like how much rehearsal goes to, like when you guys have a show come up, do you usually get together and rehearse before the show, or you get to the point where you pretty much, oh, we know the material, we'll just, meet you guys at the gig?
We practice if we can, if we're able to. We'll practice a couple of times before a gig, or to learn new songs. But we're at the point now where we're able to, if we have a show, if we don't practice, we'd rather we did practice.
Yeah.
But if we don't for some reason, it's still okay.
And so you're always at the point where you can play the tune. Now let me ask you, how much like choreography goes into your show, as far as like do you guys, like I imagine when you first got the band together, you must have spent a couple hours like watching Motley Crue videos, kind of get an idea, okay, this is how Vince Neil moves, this is how Nikki Sixx moves, to get your parts down?
We take the music from Motley Crue and we sort of make it our own. So as far as choreographed moves and everything, we come up with them ourselves, as time progresses. Like it could start out just clowning around at practice, and we work it into the show, and then we really enjoy being on stage together. We hang out outside of the band, and in fact I'm having dinner with a couple of them after this interview. But yeah, we really enjoy each other, and we just work out ourselves that we just automatically do because it's fun and it becomes part of the show.
Yeah, and I imagine the cool thing about doing a band like Motley Crue is, Motley Crue is one of those bands where there's not just one guy, but there's four guys that are actually the star of the band, and even to me as a Motley Crue fan for years, I kind of overlooked how important Mick Mars was. I mean, because the other guys just got, their personalities are so much more out there and wild, as they say. But Mick, he's involved with the songwriting. And then when you learn that he has this bone disease he's been suffering from, and yet he gets up on stage every night and he's in all this pain, and he's still able to rock it on stage. You gotta have a certain level of respect for the guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I think it's kind of interesting because you're saying we kind of take the music of Motley Crue and we kind of we don't so much choreo the show, but we kind of make it our own, and I think that's a great original thing. Because another thing a lot of these tribute bands do, like I saw this band Hollywood Rose, they're from Hollywood, and it's obviously a Guns N' Roses tribute. And first time I saw the guy, I looked at the singer. He looked, you'd swear it was Axl Rose on stage. The band, I
saw them a few months ago actually at the Whiskey. They're really good.
And the point being is, I almost swore for a minute, man, is this a tribute band or is this a real thing? Because for a minute it took me back to 1987, if you know what I mean. And when I left that show, I thought, I had a new respect for these tribute bands, because I thought, wow, these were guys playing like Guns N' Roses music, but man, they were dead on. I almost swore I was looking at Axl Rose. That's how good they were.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people have misconception about tribute bands, because a lot of people have the perception that these are guys that they just put on a wig and they try to sound like Motley Crue, Vince Neil, or whatever. Anybody could do that, but they're still, even though you're playing other people's material, you got to put your own personality into it. You got to have a certain level of talent to be able to pull that off, and that sounds like that's what you guys are doing. And let me ask you, like, what would you say to somebody that has a misconception about tribute bands, as far as these are just people that are failed musicians that couldn't hack it and doing their own original thing? Because again, I run into that a lot, and I try to tell people again, it's more to it than that. I mean, these guys, these bands, they take the time to learn the material, and and it's almost entertainment. Las Vegas, if you know what I mean, think of it like David Lee Roth, Kiss, the big spectacle. That's what people get if they come to these shows.
Tribute acts seem to draw better initially anyway, because people want to recognize the music they're hearing, and that's not a knock to original bands. I mean, everybody, there's people who prefer original music to tribute music, and that's fine,
Yeah.
Everybody. We just happen to be doing the tribute thing, and people enjoy it.
And again, you guys are doing the tribute thing, but I was curious, being an all-female act, like you obviously don't look identical to Vince Neil, but do you ever get people coming to your shows thinking you're an original band, or thinking, you come up after a show, oh, you guys really put on a, great show?
people that think we're an original band.
Well, you know, like for example, there are a couple of people I've encountered, like they'll go see a tribute band, and they really have no idea it's a tribute band, you know, just because maybe they've never heard of, say, Motley Crue or whatever, and then being that the tribute band kind of turned them on to that, you know, like that must happen at your shows where people come and have no idea who Motley Crue is, but then they find out you guys are paying tribute to Motley Crue, and then they go home later and they you know, check out Motley Crue's music, or they go and buy a Motley Crue album.
That hasn't really happened, I think, because we chose a really popular band to, you know, but I have met people who have said, you know, I don't like Motley Crue, but I like you guys.
That's cool. That's wow.
Yeah, that's a cool compliment.
And so I don't imagine you guys would ever do anything too daring, like throwing a John Corabi song in the set or anything like that?
Probably not. We'll probably keep it pretty true to the original lineup as far as song selection goes.
And as far as your set list, do you guys have like a set list of songs that you always perform, or like, or do you kind of mix it up from show to show? Like, do you take songs out and add different songs?
We do. Sometimes we'll take some out or add some. It depends if we're doing one or two sets at that particular show, but you know, we have our crowd favorites that are in every set, and then sometimes we'll mix up some of the other ones.
And one thing I love about the tribute scene is a lot of these bands I've interviewed for this, you know, they've told me that the cool thing about being part of a tribute scene is the other tribute bands, like everybody kind of networks together, like, hey, we need somebody to open our show, you know, do you guys want to come and open for us? Or there's a lot more networking going on than if you were an original band, because a lot of original bands, they tend to compete against one another, and a lot of my experience as a tribute bands are there to like help one another, and they all become like a big happy family. Is that kind of what's going up there in the San Francisco area right now?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we've made a lot of friends with the other bands, and it's a lot easier to put together a good bill that way.
As far as the band itself, do you pretty much manage a band? Do you have somebody do that for you? Do you book your own shows? How does that all work?
We do everything ourselves. I'm the primary booking contact, but if one of the other girls receives a show offer, then then they'll handle it. But primarily it's me, and we each of us have different jobs we do in the band.
And now help me understand, like, primarily, I assume, like, obviously a tribute band, you guys are paying tribute to somebody else, so, like, it wouldn't be a typical band where you'd have, you know, like, record sales or royalties coming in. So, do you guys really make the bulk of your money just through the ticket sales?
Yeah, either ticket sales, a door deal, a flat rate. There's different ways the clubs pay us, and plus we sell merchandise as well. You know, we make a little extra money doing that.
And as far as the merchandise, you obviously offer it at shows, but like, can people go online if they want to buy a Cruella T-shirt or something like that?
They can. I mean, if they message us on the web page or on the Facebook page, we'd be more than happy to send them merchandise. We're going to put the merch up fairly soon. So people can see what it looks like who don't live here or can't make it to a show. They can still get a T-shirt or, you know, stickers and buttons and whatever. And
how involved are you guys with the merchandising as far as like the T-shirt designs? Do you design all your own T-shirts? Does somebody else do that for you?
We do everything. We designed our own T-shirts and logo, and I handle the merch. I pick what kind of styles shirts we offer, and Wendy, our drummer, does the graphics, and we all just sort of pitch in and do it together.
Oh, that's really cool. So like you said, you've been doing it for 2 years now. So, like you said, you'd like to eventually get it outside of San Francisco and that, but because you know, the biggest like tribute band out here that's all female, where I'm from in LA, is Iron Maidens. Have you ever heard of them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They've played up here a few times. I haven't seen them yet, but I want to.
I mean, they're a real impressive band in the sense that again, don't take us the wrong way, but it's an all-female band, to Iron Maiden of all things. And let me tell you, I've seen the band like 2 or 3 times, and the singer, don't take us the wrong way again, she's got balls. I mean, her singing ability is, you know, her range and everything is just as high as Bruce Dickinson. I mean, you'd swear it was Bruce Dickinson. That's how good she is. And the thing that really impressed me about the Iron Maidens, you probably know a little bit about them, but they're one band. I mean, forget for a minute that they're all female, and that when you're an all-female band, you guys probably know. A lot of times you have people, you have trouble getting people to take you serious, but this is one band that they've played shows for the troops. They've not just taken it all around Southern California and the California. They've taken their show all around the world, which I think is pretty impressive for a, that's kind of a standard you want to kind of shoot. That's pretty impressive to me for a tribute band.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we would love to do that too eventually. We're working. We're fairly new, actually. If you think about it, a lot of the tribute bands have been around a lot longer than us, so that's what we're aiming for.
Yeah, what's kind of interesting about it is, out here in LA, there used to be only like 1 or 2 Motley Crue tributes. They're starting to pop up a lot more. And then, again, like I said, I was just searching for bands on the internet, and I came across your page, and I thought, wow, okay, there's another Motley Crue tribute, and then and plus you got the thing about being an all-female tribute. So I think you guys are definitely on your way. And anyways, Cindy, I try not to keep you too much longer. I just want to thank you for taking time to do this. And like I said, you give me a couple hours, I'll get you a copy of the interview, send it through your email, and you can check it out. And please keep in touch with us. And anytime you want to do this again or anything, just let us know about a show you have coming up. Feel free to hit me up, and we can do it again.
Oh, I sure will. Thank you so much, and thanks for asking us.
Okay, you take care. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Okay, you too.